Mandela secretly travelled to Ethiopia for military training under the name of David Motsamai. Have a look at the passport. We'll put it up on screen. This, you are seeing a passport that was actually issued to Madiba in 1962. It is in Amharic, which is one interesting thing, but besides the name, is Madiba's profession. It says that he was a journalist. And this is how he managed to travel through Africa on this passport as a journalist, but with an Ethiopian passport. One of the things that Madiba recently learnt is that while he was in Ethiopia, the apartheid government knew where he was and had actually paid his minders to kill him. We're joined in studio now by Captain Guta Dinka, who not only looked after Madiba while he was in Ethiopia, but this man was ordered and paid to kill Madiba. He is with Professor Mama Mochi, who will do the translation for us here on Morning Live. Gentlemen, welcome. Thank you very, very much for being with us. And Captain, welcome to you as well. Good. Let's begin off by asking, I have to ask age here.
Yeah.
How old was the captain in 1962?
ስንት ዓመት ነበሩ? በዛስ ጊዜ ስንት ይሆናል roughly? 45 years old.
He was 45 years old.
35 years
35.
old.
So 35 years old. This is when he was selected to look after Madiba when he was in the country.
Yeah.
How was he selected? How did the process work?
He was trained as a commander by a commando, and he was selected among 4,000 police officers. And I think the main reason they selected him, but Madiba doesn't know he was looking after him.
Really?
He didn't know. No.
So why is that?
Two people were assigned that they look after Madiba, but Madiba was not supposed to know them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So were they with Madiba at all times, or did they sort of keep a distance?
They keep a distance.
They kept a distance, watching him
but
the entire time.
But they watch him all the time to make sure that he is protected. Yeah.
Okay.
That was the assignment by the general, General Addis Ababa.
What is back in 1962, what was the Madiba then like? What are the memories of the captain that he has of Madiba then?
Extraordinary. He said he was very disciplined, very organized, very cheerful, and always worked, but also was friendly with the Ethiopians very much.
Yeah.
And he remembers him like that. And he was very upset. He didn't get a chance to get a picture with him because Madiba doesn't know him.
He doesn't. Madiba
he did not know. These two people he did not know at all. They were protecting him.
Yeah.
For over nearly 3 months.
Yeah. But he never ever knew them.
He never ever knew. This was the assignment.
What about the other captain? Where is he?
The other captain, he's dead.
Oh,
he's passed away.
He's passed away since then. So you have the memories all by yourself.
Yeah.
I want to talk about now this order to kill Mandela.
Yeah.
Where did it come from?
There were two people that came. One was a white man, one was a black man, who brought this money also. And then they selected another person who was a friend of his. They were trained together as a commander, an Ethiopian person. And they mobilized that person, and I think that person agreed with them, that he was happy to get on with strangling Madiba. They wanted to strangle him.
That was how they wanted to kill him.
But they didn't want to do it. They wanted him to do it.
Yeah, because he had such close access to him.
Access to him, and he was a regular person, and they knew the sequence, the time when people would be away in the evening, the shift. They knew all the pattern, so they assigned him to do it. He didn't want to do it. He wanted him to do it.
He wanted him to do it.
Yeah.
And was this gentleman from the apartheid government? Was he? Was it an order from South Africa? Where did the order come from?
I think it's it's security services. I mean, I mean, it's very difficult to say, but it's intelligence services. But it's high intelligence. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But of course, the apartheid government it must be involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much money was he offered?
2,000 pounds. That's a lot of money at that time.
In 1962?
In 1962, yeah.
2,000 pounds.
Yeah.
Why didn't he do it?
He loved Madiba. Second, he was ordered, selected to look after him. Third, he says he's an Ethiopian. His values do not allow him to do that, and his religion, everything. He said he got frozen when they told him to do it, and they took him to a hotel called Taitu Hotel,
yeah.
and they made him drink, and they made him eat food, and he got shaken.
Yeah.
He didn't know how to eat the food with a knife and fork. He says he just got shaken and frozen when they told him this. But they had to make him say yes.
Yes.
So he said, I had to say yes to survive.
Okay.
And then they told him a fixed time. By 6 o'clock, the thing has to be done.
It had to be done. 6 o'clock that day?
That evening, yeah.
That evening.
The evening. So he immediately, when they left him, he went straight to the general and told him, there's a threat. Madiba is under tremendous threat, and I'm under threat. All of us are under threat. Yeah. Then the chief, the general, ordered all of them to be under security, including himself.
Yeah.
He made sure that they're all under surveillance. And then eventually they were found out.
Okay.
There was an investigation.
Yes.
They were told, all of them were taken, blindfolded, and they told their stories. And some of them didn't want to tell the true story, but they insisted they must tell the story, and they did.
Yeah.
And then they got thrown out. They didn't want to. The reason why they did this is because they want to keep the security for Madiba. They didn't want him to feel. They want him to get his training properly, and they didn't want to make this a big issue. That's what they did. And eventually they got thrown out. Those guys were thrown out. The guy who was the Ethiopian guy, his name was Abraham. This guy who did this, he was demoted, and he was sent to a region where probably in a very low, where all kinds of malaria infection. They didn't want to put it in court. If you put it in court, it would be known. Yes. And then it would be dangerous.
You would kill his cover.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, he was undercover at the time.
So they didn't want to do that, so they kept it secret.
Wow.
And
is it true?
But imagine what it means if Madiba had been killed.
If this man killed Madiba.
Yeah, you would not have South Africa, trust me.
We wouldn't.
You would have a civil war. You'd have had a tremendous chaos. So I think this man is extraordinary.
Absolutely.
I'm just proud of him.
I would say the same.
Yeah.
So Madiba only found this all out in the year 2009?
Yeah, and he found out, and the letter, you saw the letter from the Nelson Mandela Foundation?
Will you get it out for us?
Yeah.
So we can have a look at that.
Yes, what is the letter?
Now, the great Emperor Haile Selassie was the leader at the time.
No, it's not that.
He knew all about this?
Yeah, precisely how the Emperor, how much they informed him about this incident, I don't know. What he knows is that he made sure he had a great relationship with Madiba. They liked each other very much.
Yes.
That I know. But I'm not sure they informed him about this. I'm not sure.
Not too sure if he
But I think the general knew.
Yeah.
And then also the colonel who was training Madiba, who was interpreting for him. He knows also English. Who is the picture there? He knows. He was involved.
Now, I know that there's...
And the letter was, I don't know who took it.
Oh, don't worry about the letter. We'll find that and read it to our
viewers. But
Madiba
acknowledged that thank God he knew that they were going to kill him before he died. I think that was good that he knew about it. Yeah.
Now, let's talk about the gun, because this is actually there's a movie being made all about this now. This man actually trained Madiba at the time while he was in Ethiopia. And I've got Nick Volpe on the line right now. Nick is from Lily's Leaf Farm. He actually looks after it as a museum. Nick, thank you for being with us. It's good to have you on the line.
Good morning, and my pleasure. How are you?
I'm very well. Are you listening to this story? Is this not the most intriguing story, which obviously you knew all about?
Well, not the story regarding the assassination attempt on Nelson. That was fascinating. That whole, I mean, that's a completely new angle.
That's amazing.
I think it's, apart from obviously the Mandela Foundation, I think no one is really very much aware of that particular event while he was on his secret African mission. It's incredibly intriguing and fascinating.
It is fascinating. It's amazing. I mean, this is massive news here. I have to tell you. I mean, everybody, I think, hanging on to every word you're saying. But I want to talk more about the gun. And Nick, I'm going to bring you into the conversation. But let's first talk about the gentleman in the photograph who actually trained Madiba while he was living in Ethiopia and gave him this gun. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. Yes, this is the letter.
That's the letter. We'll have a look at that now.
Yeah.
Tell us about this man.
He was commander of the forces, and he was assigned specifically to train Madiba, and he knew the English language, so he became his friend.
Yes.
But he gave, I mean, more than anything, the BBC had done a very good report on him, on the relationship, and all he says is how the most beautiful thing he says about Madiba is just it's extraordinary.
Yeah.
As how he said, I used to get more exhausted than Madiba when he trained him.
Because he was such a fit man.
He was completely driven, he said.
Yeah.
He wanted to really know everything.
Yeah.
He said, Madiba.
Amazing.
And was fun. I mean,
he was a fun man as well.
He did it with a sense of joy and fun, he said.
Now he gave Madiba the gun, the infamous gun that we're looking for, the shotgun.
That's right, yeah.
Nick, talk to me about this gun now, because this is where you come into the picture.
There were two things he brought, Madiba. He brought the gun and the picture of Emperor Haile Selassie.
Okay, so those are the two things.
And then when the authorities here captured him, they took both, I think. Yeah.
Nick, talk to me about the gun now.
Okay. Well, I mean, the gun, we became aware of the gun back in 2003. Up until that point, the gun had kind of disappeared from the historical landscape. We weren't, even though there's reference to it in his book, A Long Walk to Freedom, the reference to the gun really shocked us and surprised us, because on his visit in 2003, as I was walking out of the main house with him up the path towards what at the time was a little museum, he asked me if I'd found his gun that he had buried at Lily's Leaf, which, as I just mentioned, we were totally unaware of, which then precipitated a long investigation and, discussion. At first, there was my professional team were slightly taken aback, and they were of the opinion that Nelson was actually referring to the revolver that he had on him at the time of his arrest. However, during the course of the research and the investigation, we uncovered the fact that on 3 previous visits to Lily's Leaf in the 90s, he had pointed out to individuals, one being Alistair Sparks on one occasion, which Alistair Sparks then wrote a story on about the gun, and on 2 other occasions when he went there, the owners of what was Lily's, the main house, record 2 separate occasions with them being taken to the back of the house and Nelson pointing to the property adjoining it and saying, that's where I buried my gun.
Yeah.
In 2005, we purchased that property, and very unscientifically, I have to say, and embarrassingly, we dug up the area, but we didn't find the gun. Now, then it transpired that because we hadn't done it in a scientific fashion, we were wrong. But let me just backtrack. We also then discovered that Arthur Goldreich knew about the gun, because he then goes on in a wonderful interview to describe how when he arrived back and was surprised to see Nelson back at Lily's Leaf, he and Nelson walked out of Nelson's room up toward the boundary of the farm on Ripfontaine Road, and he says that's where he showed it to me. Yeah. And I reached out to touch it, and he slapped my hand as if to say, no, you can't touch it.
Yeah.
But he said it was a semi-automatic Macross pistol. And it was, now the question then that came up during the course of our research was, who gave him the gun? Originally, we had just assumed that it was given to him by his military scientific instructor, Tedessus. But then gradually it became apparent that that wasn't the case. And in fact, we tried, through someone from the Ethiopian embassy, a woman by the name of Hannah Tilmay, she put us in touch with Nelson's driver at the time, a Mr. Binker, who was a junior in the Foreign Office at the time.
Yeah.
And in our communications with him, he said, no, the Tedessus would not have had the mandate or the power to give him the gun. It was clearly instructed by, or given to him through him by Haile Selassie.
All right, Nick, wow. I mean, this is incredible stuff that we're talking about. And I don't know if viewers are not going to love me for doing this, but we have to take a break. So I hope we can get more in, but stay there. We've got to take a break.